Welcome, Seroptimists. We are so excited to have you here today as part of our second member learning lab. My name is Alyssa Marshall. I'm SIA's Director of Tech and Digital Strategy.
And I am Luz Aponte, SIA's Membership Manager. In today's training, club leaders will review Part 1 prerequisites, demo how to update your club roster, understand how to generate an invoice to pay dues online, know where to go for help. Alyssa, can you tell us what happened previously on Tech Talks?
Yes, previously on Tech Talks, we'll break down a couple of cliff notes for you. So June 3rd, we learned that everyone needs an individual email address. This cannot be a club or shared email address for data security purposes. Number 2, we learned access to the portal is invite only via email. We learned, and actually this is a correction, we have changed this since the June 3rd webinar. Starting July 1st, club leaders will receive an email invite. Existing leaders will log in and assign the new incoming leaders. Upon logging in, you'll need to review Salesforce's new definitions on the homepage of the member portal. We also understand that everything is in beta and under active construction. Also, you can review part 1 of the training in your Tech Talks Learning Lab. Let's review how we got here and why we're here today to learn new tech. Years ago, our board of directors set an audacious goal to invest in the dreams of 500,000 women and girls through access to education. But we had a big problem. The tech stack we had been working off of for the past few decades was the equivalent of driving a Model T Ford in today's technical landscape. A fragile infrastructure that was being held together by extremely devoted staff and a lot of tape, glue, popsicle sticks, and willpower. With the help of passionate leaders and donors to the Dream Big campaign, we identified 3 primary areas of need in order to not only reach our big goal, but sustain Seroptimists into the future. Those 3 areas were program delivery, program expansion, and program sustainability. The first thing you may remember from the case statement for sustainability highlights the need to improve our technological infrastructure. The board, executive leadership, many task forces, and your headquarters staff have worked really hard to align our strategic plan to these goals as the backbone of the business. Diane Thompson said it best when she said, "I know we need to invest in ourselves to make this happen, because we can't do things the same way we do today and expect a different outcome. Our tech transformation projects are made possible because of the Dream Big campaign, because of you." And so our board of directors prioritized investing in technology as part of a bigger conversation on how to sustain and scale Seroptimist's global impact into the future. For us, as accidental techies, we need to transition from surviving with tech to thriving with tech. Picture yourselves as pioneers, the first leaders to catch a glimpse of new Salesforce tools and new ways of working together. It's not going to be easy, but it will be worth it. And we'll do our best to make it fun along the way. And now I'd like to repeat some words of encouragement from our Chief Impact and Engagement Officer, Aisha D. Brown. We appreciate your patience during this database conversion. We assure you that late fees will not be assessed to clubs that don't pay their dues on July 1st. Next week, during SIA's Board of Directors meetings, Aisha Brown, Chief Impact and Engagement Officer, will make a recommendation regarding a revised timeline as to when late fees will be assessed. In the meantime, the focus is logging into the new member portal and learning how to navigate the portal so you can pay your club's dues. Thank you. So let's have a little fun. Just like last time, we're going to use a new tool called Mentimeter for an icebreaker. You can join by clicking the link in the chat or by following the directions on the screen. So you can go to menti.com and enter the code 289-27331. Or if you have your cell phone handy, you can use the QR code to get to Menti. So we'll just give everyone a minute to connect. So again, menti.com or use the code 2892-7331. All right, seeing a few people joining already. Fun fact, this Mentimeter tool will also be used at convention, so consider this practice. Here's a little icebreaker poll for us. Which of the following best represents you? Your first choice in blue, I attended the June 3rd training. Your second choice in green, I watched the June 3rd recording. Or your third choice in purple, I am fresh to Tech Talks and ready to learn. Give everyone a couple of minutes to send in their responses. Awesome to see so many people participating with new tech, fun new app. So great to see so many of you coming back for part 2. And thank you to the folks who watched the recording. For the ones who are fresh to Tech Talks, welcome. You're in the right place. Here you will find where you can access the recording. And we're happy to have you. All right, we're slowing down. Looks great. Awesome. So next, I'm going to have Grace queue up our training where we're going to learn how to update your roster and generate an invoice to pay dues. Now, for the folks who are fresh to Tech Talks and didn't get a chance to watch the June 3rd recording, we highly recommend watching that. I'm going to drop a link in the chat in a minute as to where you can do that after today's webinar. Thanks so much, and thanks for your responses from Mentimeter. Looks like we might be having some technical difficulties. Hey, Grace. I'm going to actually steal screen share because it looks like the rendering is a little delayed. Luz, does it look delayed to you or just me? Okay.
Sorry about that.
It's okay. No problem. Hey, tech happens. So let's see if mine does any better. Give me 1 second. We want to make sure, members, what you are seeing is as clear as possible. So thanks for bearing with us. Let's try this one more time. How to update my club's roster comes with a series of mini demos where we will review how to update member contact information, how to terminate members, how to change leadership roles, how to add new members, and ensuring we verify and double check our roster before generating an invoice to pay. You cannot complete this step without having done the following prerequisites. First, you have a valid email address on file. Remember, this cannot be a club or shared email account. Students from the June 3rd training, go ahead and tell our new students why we cannot use a club or shared email account in the chat. 2, you have already activated your account via your email invitation. 3, you set your password and you know how to log in. 4, you know how to get to the club profile. 5, you understand Salesforce's new definitions. 6, you understand that the portal is under construction with active data and web development happening behind the scenes. Now, if you need a refresher on these prerequisites, visit the Tech Talks Learning Hub for video demos reviewing Part 1 of your club leader training that y'all graduated from on June 3rd. First things first, I'm going to look at my roster to confirm a few things. I'll navigate to my club profile. And then I'm going to click View All under Affiliated Contacts. That way I can see my entire roster. Here, understand that I'm looking at both club member affiliations and leadership positions. So for example, you'll see 2 Whitney Houstons here. That's because I'm seeing both her leadership position and her club membership record. Next, I'm going to check to see that my existing members have valid individual email addresses so that they may too one day access the portal. Without a valid email address, you cannot access the portal. In this view of affiliated contacts, you can sort by the column header. For example, I can sort by email to see if there are any blank or misspelled email addresses that need updating. Then I can confirm a valid email address with that member and update their contact record. Personally, in this view, I like sorting by affiliation record type. That way, it'll group by membership affiliation and leadership positions. Currently, I am logged in as Miss Whitney Houston, the club president of our Test Diva Club. Let me see a few hearts for any fans of Whitney in the house. So pretend that Miss Mariah Carey's email address is incorrect. Here is how I'll update her contact record. First, I'll click on her affiliation link. Next, I'll click on her contact name link. Then I'll scroll down to her contact information and edit her personal email address. Then we'll click Save. And she's all set. Here, we'll demo how to terminate a member. I'm going to see if any of my current members need their member status adjusted. For example, Mr. Member Case Test is obviously in the wrong club. He is not a diva, nor does he have a diva persona. And so we'll use his record to demo how to change a member status from active to terminated. Here's how he changed the affiliation on his member record. First, you'll click the arrow next to their affiliation link and select Edit. Then you'll change their status from active to terminated, and you'll choose the end date and click Save. Right away, you'll see in your affiliated contacts list that Mr. Member Case Test now has a terminated status. Next, we'll demo how to change leadership roles. So pretend that Miss Gloria Estefan is our outgoing club treasurer. Here is how we'll change her leadership status from current to former. First, in the affiliated contact view, I'll sort by affiliation record type. Then I'll find Miss Gloria Estefan and click the arrow all the way to the right and select Edit. Here, I'll change her status from current to former and select her end date, which will for you likely be the end of the club year. And click Save. You'll see right away Miss Gloria Estefan's leadership position was changed from current to former. Next, we'll demo how to add a new club officer. Pretend Miss Aretha Franklin is our incoming club treasurer. We'll navigate back to the club profile page and click this New Club Officer button. You'll select the member from the pick list, then change their status to current, and select their leadership position. In this case, Miss Franklin is our new club treasurer, and we'll enter her start date. In most cases, that'll be July 1st, the beginning of the club year. Then we'll click Submit. Let's pause for a second and peek at the list of club leadership positions available to us. Here are your options for assigning leadership positions. Now, some of these options are in flux, as we are under active construction. But based on feedback from June 3rd, this list does include a club admin role for members who are not the club president or treasurer. But they still need to be able to process dues on behalf of the club. This list also includes your program and fundraising chairs. There is a magical automation set up in the back end to send a portal invite to club presidents, treasurers, and club admins with a current leadership position. This means that when you click Submit, the expected behavior is that that new club treasurer, president, or admin will receive an invite to the portal within the next 24 hours, starting on July 1st. And the final step in updating your roster is adding new members. Here, we'll demo how to add new members during annual dues renewal season. First, click the New Member button. If they're transferring from another club, you'll click Yes, transferred from another club, which will then prompt you to submit a request to the SIA team to help with the transfer. In most cases, you'll click No, they are new members. Then click Next. Then you'll click Create a new member. Then you'll enter that new member's contact information. Required fields are first name, last name, and email. And then, if we're lucky enough to receive, in this case, Cher's cell phone, we'll click Preferred Phone Mobile, enter her mobile phone, and her address information. After we're done entering the new member's contact information, we'll click Add to Members. Then you'll be prompted to review the new members and submit. If you need to add another member, you would click the Create a New Member button to add another member to this list. Then I'm going to select Share here and click the Submit button. Member has been created successfully. Finish. Now that I have updated my roster, I can see all of my new and existing members. Here's Miss Cher here, our newly added member. And so the next step then is to generate our invoice. So prior to generating my invoice, I want to ensure that my roster looks accurate. After I add all of my new members, I'm going to review my roster and just double check to make sure it looks complete and accurate. If something looks funky or I find myself stuck, I'm going to email sihq@soroptimist.org with a screenshot. But if it is looking fine and fabulous, then and only then will we proceed to generating an invoice to pay dues online. If you've gotten to the step, take a breath and celebrate. You made it to the big time. In this demo, we'll show you how to generate an invoice to pay dues. The prerequisites for getting to this moment include updating and validating your roster. Repeat after me. Scouts honor. I will not generate an invoice until my roster is perfect and ready for processing. I will not generate an invoice until my roster is perfect and ready for processing. This is so important because the next few steps are a complicated mix of magic and data accuracy. After your roster is ready to go, then you'll click the Generate Invoice button. A fun little red note will show up here reminding you of your Scout's honor to update and double check your roster before generating your invoice. Okay, PSA complete. My roster is up to date and these divas are ready to pay their dues. I'm going to do a few things here. First, do my numbers look right? Yes, 9 members looks right to me because I terminated Mr. Member Case and I added Ms. Share. So this new member fee makes sense to me. Now, if I'm a club in the US, I will see liability insurance here. If I'm not a US club and I see liability insurance, contact SIHQ. On the right side here, you'll see optional donations where I can pay founder's pennies. For my convenience, I can also add a club giving donation. I'll click Add a Donation, select the donation amount, and enter the amount. Then I'll click this green Add button and watch what happens to my total amount. The amount increases by my club giving gift amount. Then there's a question here that says, does your club giving contribution represent 10% of the club's income? I'll answer the question. Next, I'm going to take a look at my options for paying. Your choices are credit card, ACH, wire, check, and cash. If you choose credit card or ACH, you'll be taken to an online payment form. Let's flow through that process now. When paying with a credit card or ACH, you'll be brought to a page that looks like this after clicking Generate Invoice. Now note, you may have to allow pop-ups to be able to view this page. For me, a little X comes up here that I have to click on and say, yes, allow pop-ups. Once you get to the payment page, there are a few things to be mindful of here. The first is you do not have to cover transaction costs. You can keep this box unchecked. The second is, while the page says donate, this transaction is specifically for your dues invoice. Yes, we know this is confusing. Let me explain. We are using our donation payment platform called FundraiseUp to process your dues for a few reasons. A, to streamline internal financial processes. B, because FundraiseUp has a native integration with Salesforce. C, because your other donations happen through this payment platform, and we want to keep your transactions consolidated and secure. This particular platform adheres to stringent compliance and security practices. It's one of the many reasons we chose them. For these reasons, we are asking you to ignore the word donate on this page and just imagine it says pay. In conclusion, to repeat, your dues payment is not a donation, nor is it tax deductible, and you do not have to cover the transaction costs. Then I'll choose my online payment method and complete the payment process. For examples, here's what it looks like if you choose credit card or bank transfer as your payment method. By this point, if you complete your online payment, you are an absolute star, and we celebrate you. Now, if your payment process did not go as planned, do not worry. We will do this together. Here's what your club profile will look like if payment does not go through. You'll see an outstanding club dues balance. In this example, it's 901. You'll also see 3 opportunities that separate out your dues amount, founder's pennies, and the intended club giving donation. By the way, this is the same view that clubs will see if you choose wire, check, or cash as your payment method. Then, when your payment is received by SIHQ, your outstanding balance will turn to 0. So say I intended to pay online but got distracted. I'll click Generate Invoice again and choose Pay Online Now and simply move through the payment process as planned. Or, if I need to start fresh, I'll click Delete Open Invoice and start the process over again, meaning I will have to re-enter my club giving gift, choose my payment method, and generate a new invoice. If at any point throughout this process you get stuck, you can review your support materials on your Tech Talks Learning Hub. Or you can email sihq@seroptimus.org with a screenshot, and we will work together to get you through this new process. Okay, that was a lot. And so what I'm going to do is send us back to Mentimeter to test what we just learned in that video. So again, we're going to join our fun Mentimeter app using the same code. Let's get this going. Here we go. You can go to menti.com and enter the code 282, enter the code 289273331. You can also use your phone to get into Mentimeter via QR code. You can snap a picture of this QR code. The code again is 289273331. Give everyone a minute to get in there before we start our pop quiz. Alrighty, thanks for the thumbs up and hearts. Let's get started. First question, I can use our club email address as my own username to log into the portal. 30 seconds on the clock. Wish I could turn this music down. 10 seconds left. Can play in the chat if you're having trouble connecting. All right, yes, you're paying attention. The answer is false. You cannot use a shared email address to log into the portal. Okay, let's go to the next question. Our players are ready. I must update my roster before generating an invoice. True or false? We have about 30 seconds left on the clock. I must update my roster before generating an invoice. True or false? Answers coming in. True. Yes, everyone's doing such a great job. Yes, I must update my roster before generating an invoice. We took the Scouts honor on that. Okay, next question. Getting our players ready. When generating my invoice, I can also do the following. About 30 seconds left. Yes, when generating my invoice, I can also do the following. You can do all of the above. You can pay founders pennies. You can add a club giving donation, and you can request adjustments from SAHQ. Great job. Okay, almost done. Everybody's doing great. Thanks for your patience and for having some fun with us. We appreciate you. Question 4 of 5. Let me know if you want me to keep the music off. We can kill the music. When paying club dues online, I can pretend that donate means pay on the form. When paying club dues online, I can pretend that donate means pay on the form. True or false? About 20 seconds left. Eight seconds left. Okay, here come our answers. True. When paying club dues online, I can pretend that donate means pay on the form. We know it's confusing. Thank you for bearing with us as we work through that. Last but not least, we're going to roll into our last question. Our players are ready. Where can I go for help? Where can I go for help? The Tech Talks Learning Hub. Can I email sihq@seroptimus.org? Or can I submit a case online by contacting support in the Learning Hub? 20 seconds left. And then we're going to roll right into Q&A. Seeing a lot of great questions coming into the chat. If you could put those in the Q&A, then we can better track those and then later catalog them to add them to the FAQs on the Learning Hub, which I just gave away an answer. But yeah, question is all of them. So anybody who answered any of these options, you are all correct. You are all stars in my eyes. Thank you for playing. Appreciate you. Appreciate you having a little bit of fun as we learn some new tech. And what we can do, know that everything that you learned today will be posted on Tech Talks on the Learning Hub. So that if you are interested in only the training material, then you can access the Learning Hub and view those recorded demos on your own time. We'll also have special getting started guides to help you navigate through anything that feels confusing to you. So let's roll right into Q&A. I see a lot of great questions coming up. Okay, great question coming in from Kathy. I haven't received my email to activate my account yet. Should I be concerned? No, Kathy. Things have changed since our June 3rd training. All email invitations will go out July 1st. So July 1st is when the portal will open. Let me rephrase that. July 1st is when the portal will open to club presidents, club treasurers, and club admins. Now, from our database perspective, anybody that we have as recognized as an active club president, and club treasurer will be sent an invitation to the portal. And that could technically mean that it's your last club year's club president and treasurer. And so the goal will be to encourage any incoming officers to work with those club presidents and treasurers to adjust the leadership roles, just like you learned in today's training. Thanks for your question, Kathy. Do we have to add our club information or will it be there for us to update? Gail, it will be there for you to update. You don't have to start fresh. Thanks for your question. If a member is terminated in error, can that be reversed by changing their status back to active? That's a great question coming in from an anonymous attendee. Actually, I think in this case, you'll have to email sihq@seroptimus.org. So if a member is terminated in error, email sihq@seroptimus.org, and then we'll work to adjust that status. A lot of questions are coming in about having co-presidents or a leader that has multiple leadership roles. Yes, you can have co-presidents. You can have a president that has the title club president. I believe there's a leadership role called immediate past president. We also added, based on feedback from the June 3rd webinar, the role club admin. So you can have multiple leaders associated with your club. More questions about having multiple leadership positions, like what if a club member has an admin position and is also Dream It Be It chair? Yes, those folks can hold both of those leadership roles. Pretty much what it would mean in Salesforce terms is they would have multiple leadership affiliations. So if Miss Diana Ross is both the club secretary and the Dream It Be It chair, I would add both of those leadership affiliations to her record. Great questions. Okay. Let me see. Can we add new members throughout the year? Yes, you can add new members throughout the year. The flow will look a little different. So right now, because we're in dues renewal season, we're having you add new members as part of the big dues renewal process. However, after a certain time, and that kind of depends on how everyone's doing paying their club dues, I'm going to say October for now. So everybody's done an amazing job renewing their dues and everything's hunky dory. Come November or December, we have a new member we need to add. The flow will look a little different because instead of having you repay your entire dues invoice, it'll just have you pay for that new member added. We will record a demo on that process once we get through the annual renewal dues process. Great question. On the invoice, would it show a line for a life member whose dues are different from a full regular member? Yes, and Luz, keep me honest here. That's correct. On the invoice, it will show a line for a life member whose dues are different from a full regular member.
Correct. And that'll be for $10.
Great. Are debit cards considered the same as credit card? Yes, you can run a debit card and credit card the same way through the payment form. What's an ACH? I believe that's a bank transfer. So instead of paying via credit card, you would just connect your bank to our payment system to send a deposit directly from the bank. More questions coming in about paying founders pennies or club giving donations separate from the dues renewal process. Yes, you can send in founders pennies donations. You can send in club giving donations separate from the dues payment process. We are working on a payment form to be able to do that. For now, email development@seroptimus.org, and they will likely send you to that separate payment form. But if you have founders pennies and club giving ready to be processed as part of this dues renewal process, we wanted to make it feasible to have you do that all in one lump sum. Luz, this question, where are the SI dues listed and how do I pay that?
The SI dues, that is the per capita, which is, I'm sorry, yeah, the SI dues is the per capita, which is $9, and that's on the 5008 form. So it's listed there, and you'll also see it when you log in to pay your club dues. So it's $9 per member.
Thanks, Luz. I see a question coming in saying that, well, what if we pay dues from one checking account and founders pennies from another? Can we separate the two transactions? Yes, you can separate those transactions. What you'll do is omit founders pennies from the online dues payment process and just go through and process your dues through that checking account. And then contact development@seroptimus.org to process founders pennies from another account. Great question. A couple questions coming in. How do I send a screenshot? You know what? You know who's my best friend? Google. And so I'll Google, how do I send a screenshot? And magical answers and videos come and show me how to send a screenshot. Great question. Luz, for folks who need to print a roster to send to regional, how would they go about doing that?
In Salesforce, I do not know. TBD, but if you do need something prior to getting into Salesforce, you can email us at SIHQ and we'll provide you with your club roster.
Yeah, so here's something fun too. Region leaders will be able to see the clubs who are part of their region. One of the best parts of Salesforce is that we're able to roll up kind of like an umbrella fashion. Because of the fact that a region is your parent account, they will be able to view that. So you won't necessarily have to send them a printed roster. What we could do though is run a report that shows you that printed roster, and then you could also have that to send to them as well. I'm still not sure how to log into our club account. Okay, sounds like there's some confusion there. It is true that many clubs have a club email account with the domain @siroptimus.net. That's a separate thing. That is a club email account that you are free to use in whatever way makes sense to you. What we're talking about here is your member portal, and it is necessary in this process that you have an individual email address to be able to access the member portal. And so if the question is, how do I log into the member portal? Then the answer is you'll receive an email invitation on July 1st that will walk you through how to activate your account and log into the portal.
Alyssa, can I just add to that?
Yes, please.
Also, because in the past, in order for members to pay their dues, they would have to log in using the club ID. So that will no longer exist. So forget about that. That does not exist. It's just like Alyssa said, your email and password.
Yeah. Okay, a lot of great questions coming in. We are at the top of the hour. What we're going to do is review any outstanding and answered questions, catalog them, and add them to our Tech Talks Learning Hub. Can't say again how much we appreciate you for being here, for opening your minds to a new process, and for your patience as we work to get through a new and different dues renewal process. So thank you so much. I'm receiving your heart with an open heart and much gratitude. We are here to support you, and we appreciate you. Thanks for joining. A recording will be available after today's session, and we'll post it in the Tech Talks Learning Hub. Thanks, everybody. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.